Got something a little chunky here. Guys, this is a Springfield M1A. And it is topped off with a primary arms R-grid 2B. So let me get the specs for you guys. It is a first focal plane and it is illuminated. It's not daylight bright, it's daylight usable. And it says it provides an auto ranging fast close quarters engagement at low magnification and extensive mil dot grid that offers 15 mils of precise holdovers, which that is what I did because I do not know how to dial yet. And then with 308, that's a little different for me. It does have zero resetting, zero resettable turret caps, the chevron tip, which is the aiming point that you will be using from 0 to 100. 200, you have to know your holdovers. Just depends on what kind of zero you have. It does have a 30 millimeter main tube and the weight is 25.4 ounces with the battery, without the lens cover. It is waterproof, fog resistant, and shock resistant, and it has a lifetime warranty. And it is coming in at around 300 bucks. So you can probably get it on the used market for 200. It's a couple of different versions of it. You got the accurized version. Man, it's like 3 or 4 different versions of this thing. So you got the accurized version, the 18-inch, and the SOCOM, I believe. This is the only one that I had experience with. Haven't used any of the other ones. So one thing that I like about this thing, I like the weight on it because the 308 does have a little punch to it. And the Springfield bipod worked very well when you were stabilizing it. Only thing I didn't understand how to do was lock it into position, because it does rotate whenever you have it sitting. So you can see it rotates a little. I guess that's being able to move it to reload. Speaking of that, the reload on this thing is not based. The reload, you better know what you're doing, because I can show you now, I might fail. It's not just a simple push and insert. It is a push in, rock, and then lock in. Some issues that I was having first off was I would fire 1 or 2 rounds and the magazine would drop. I don't know if it was the magazine or me failing. Well, this thing has some weight to it, man. It's chunky. So the scope, It is sitting in a Warren scope. That's what it looks like anyway. That's what the emblem says. So I think that may be a Warren. I have seen some other scopes that have that symbol on it, so I'm not too sure about that, but it does look like Warren. Zeroing in this scope, I used a variety of ammo. I can't remember what it is all offhand, but I do know, and I lost the footage to this, I used some Black Hills, and it did a little over 1.25. I think it was like 1.38 when I measured it. I didn't have the micrometer with me. A guy on the range had it, and 1.38. It is very capable, but when it gets hot, the accuracy tends to just fall off. It is a thinner barrel on here. This is not a bull barrel or heavy barrel, I don't believe, but I will say it is very good gassed. .308, it does have some punch to it, so with that weight, it definitely works out, and it teams it off with that weight. You do get 20 round box mags with this thing, which is a very good, it's a very good capacity for .308. And I think I fired in an excess of around 100 rounds. It all worked out pretty well. Didn't have any stoppages out of it. It was just me failing to put the magazines in. Now on to the cons. The biggest con for me is the safety, and it is right here. The biggest con is the safety inside the trigger well. I don't like that, because if you try to, say if you're trying to move fast and you try to take that safety off, as soon as you do, you may inadvertently pull that trigger. And guys, we are clear. We are locked back and clear. Clear, lock back. Ooh, that is just so buttery smooth. But this is what I mean. If you're going to take that safety off, use your thumb and push it forward. Use your thumb, push it forward. Do not stick your hand in there, because you could very well inadvertently pull that trigger. So let's go ahead and test that trigger out. Here's your take up. Very good snap, clean break off of it. Very short, crisp reset. But those are the two cons that I don't like about it. How the magazine fits in, inserts, and the safety on it. Other than that, I didn't have any problems out of this thing. Very smooth rifle, very smooth shooting. Trigger is awesome on it. The accuracy is very acceptable on it. It's just that when it heats up, and it's inevitable, it's just a hard hitting, high pressured round coming out of this barrel. It is not a heavy duty barrel on here, but as long as you're getting 2-3 MOA out of this, I don't see why, if you're experienced, I don't see why you can't push this thing out to 700 yards. I pushed it out to 400, and I don't have a lot of experience on shooting big calibers out past 200 yards. 5.56, 7.62s, any of those type of calibers, I could push those out to 600-700 yards, no problem. I don't know how to judge the drop on these things yet, so I need to get some more time behind the trigger and behind the bullet in order to figure out the drops on them. As for now, I'm not dialing. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just doing holdovers. So I just need to figure that out.
200, 300, 400.
But the scope is more than acceptable, and the rifle is more capable than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a 2 MOA, 3 MOA gun, but it wasn't. It was a little under. With the right ammunition, right grain weight, and right manufacturer, it can definitely perform. Great reliability off of it. But with all that said, guys, I'll see y'all in the next video. But don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. Come back to the channel to enjoy some more content, and I'll see y'all fellas on the next one.